Hello students, welcome back to the science class once again. Thank you all for watching my previous videos and thank you all for staying home. So in the last class, what were we discussing? We were discussing about acids, right? So what was the definition of acid? I hope every one of you can remember it. What was the definition of acid? Acids are substances that are sour and that contain hydrogen ions. Clear? So I hope you have understood acids very well. I even gave some examples of acids also. Clear? So today we are going to discuss about the naturally occurring acids and we are going to discuss about the mineral acids. Even we are going to discuss again the property of acids also. Okay? So let us start with the naturally occurring acids. That means let us start from our home. So first one. Again, I have written the definition of acids here. Acids are generally sour. That means acids are sour to taste. All the acids are sour to taste. Clear? I hope everyone know the taste of sour. I don't think I need to explain that sour taste again. So naturally occurring acids. First one is curd. Curd, which kind of acid does it have? It has lactic acid. Second one, pulses. Pulses. In this pulses, all the dal will come. Masoor dal, moong dal and all. So this pulses, what kind of acid does it contain? It consists amino acids. Next one, spinach and tomato. Spinach is a leafy vegetable. Okay. Or tomato, what kind of acid does it contain? It contains oxalic acid. Next one is tamarind. Tamarind contains tartaric acid. Lemon or orange. Since they are citrus fruits, why are they called citrus fruit? Because they contain citric acids. Okay. The next one is vinegar. Where will you find this vinegar? I hope vinegar is known to some of you all. But to some of you all, you are hearing it as a new term. Where will you find this vinegar? When you buy any pickle from the market or from the shop, on the back of that ingredient part, you will find vinegar as an active ingredient. Vinegar, basically we use it in pickles. We use this vinegar as a preservative. So in that vinegar, what kind of acid is present? Acetic acid. The next one is amla. In that amla, we have ascorbic acid. Now, a question might be generating in your mind that this lemon orange and this amla, it contains ascorbic acid. Now this ascorbic acid is a different one from this citric acid. Okay, those fruits which contain vitamin C, they contain ascorbic acids. Okay, now it does not mean that those fruits which contain citric acid will contain vitamin C. It is completely a different one. Remember this thing, okay? Next comes carbonated drinks. What is the meaning of this carbonated drinks? It is a cold drink which you consume. In all those carbonated drinks, we have carbonic acid. So I hope you all have understood all these naturally occurring acids. So these naturally occurring acids are a part of our daily life. Right now, so isn't it interesting to know that we are surrounded by many acids right now? So now we are going to discuss about the classifications of acids. Discuss about the classifications of acid. You've heard a lot about acid now. Now for some of you who are still thinking that acids are too dangerous to us, for you there is an information that some acids are not at all too dangerous, but some acids are very dangerous. So stay away from such dangerous acids. We're going to discuss about those also, and we're going to discuss about the weak acids also. So whatever you learn from the explanation till date, that acids are not that a big kind of villain right now. So now let us see the classifications of acid based on the source. That means from where we are finding it. Based on the source, acids are classified into two categories. One is organic or natural. Naturally occurring acids means which are not made by anyone. And the next one is mineral, / artificial, / inorganic. So based on source, acids are classified into two categories: natural or mineral, or artificial or inorganic. Okay. So organic oblique natural acids which are naturally occurring, we can call it as organic acids also. So these acids are obtained from natural substances. The acids which we get from the natural substances, from the fruits, from the vegetables, they are naturally occurring acids. What are the sources of those acids? The sources of those acids are vegetables, fruits, etc. Now vegetables or fruits are not prepared by us, right now. So those acids are naturally occurring acids. So an example of those acids are citric acid, acetic acid, lactic acid, tartaric acid, etc. The acids which I have discussed in the previous part. All those acids are natural acids. Okay? And natural acids are not that corrosive. Okay? Natural acids are not that corrosive. Means when you consume it, it will not burn you. Otherwise, if it would have burned you, then how many days would you have been burned? Right now. So naturally occurring acids are not at all corrosive. Then the next one is mineral oblique artificial oblique inorganic. These are those acids which are not naturally occurring. Means these are those acids which we do not get from any natural substances. These acids are prepared synthetically in the laboratories. Where are these acids prepared? Where are these mineral oblique artificial oblique inorganic acids prepared? They are prepared synthetically in the laboratories. This synthetic meaning, okay, you might find this synthetic word in many things, just like synthetic wool, synthetic chemical. What is the meaning of this synthetic? It is artificially, it is man-made, right? So these acids, these are prepared synthetically in the laboratories. Now since they are synthetically prepared, they are prepared for a purpose. Okay, so these are too corrosive. So example of this synthetic acid, example of this mineral acid is hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid and nitric acid, and many more are there. I have just given you the 3 examples only. I hope you have understood about the natural acids and mineral acids. Okay, natural acids are obtained from the natural sources. That means from the natural substances, the acids which we are getting, they are naturally occurring acids. They are natural acids. Okay, they are not as corrosive. They are not corrosive like the mineral one. And what are these mineral acids? These are those acids which are synthetically prepared in the laboratories. The examples are here again. Once again, the examples of the naturally occurring acids are citric acid, acetic acid, lactic acid, etc. Examples of mineral acids: hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, etc. There are many more acids also. Now let us see the next classification of acids. So now, after discussing about the classification of acid based on source, now let us classify these acids based on their strength. Okay? So based on strength, the acids have 2 categories of classification. One is strong acid, another one is weak acid. So what are the characteristics of strong acid? Let's see once. They are corrosive in nature. Strong acids, they are corrosive in nature. Okay? Since they are corrosive in nature, they can cause skin burns. So they causes burns in skins. Okay? An example of that is HCl, H2SO4, etc. Weak acids, what are they? They are completely the opposite of the strong acids. They are mild in nature. That means they are not as strong as the strong acids are. That means they are not corrosive. Since they are not corrosive, so they do not cause burns in skins. Clear? An example of the weak acid is acetic acid, lactic acid, etc. That means the acids which we have discussed till now, okay, mostly the naturally occurring acids which we have discussed, they belong to these weak acids. And the strong acids, which acids belong to this strong acid? These mineral acids, they belong to these strong acids. Okay. So this acids classification based on strength, they can also be classified as a concentrated one and a dilute one. I hope you have heard about this term, concentrated acid and dilute acids. Concentrated acids, these are those acids which are very strong acids. The dilute one, in which water is mixed, means weak one. Okay. So now let us see the properties of acids. And till now we have discussed the definition of acid. We have discussed the classifications of acid based on the source. In that, based on source, we have discussed about the fact that acids are of two categories based on source. One is weak, one is naturally occurring acid or organic acid, and the other one is mineral / artificial / inorganic acid. We have again discussed about the classification of acid based on their strength. Based on strength, there are again two categories, strong acids and weak acids. So now we are going to discuss about the properties of acids. So what are the properties of acids? What did we discuss in the first? Acids are sour to taste. So they are sour to taste. So that is the first property of acids. Now it might be a difficult one for you all to remember the taste of acid. But it is very simple. Okay? How to remember? Acids, they are sour to taste. Clear? Now A for acids. And what is A for? A for achar even. What is the taste of that pickle or achar? It is also sour to taste. So the best way to remember the taste of acid is to remember the pickle or achar. Both these words starts with A. So acids are sour to taste. Clear? Then the next one, they are soluble in water. All the acids are soluble in water. Okay? Example. How to remember this with the help of an example? Lemon. The lemon juice which you extract, that one, into that lemon juice, you add water and prepare it for drinking. So if that is also an acid, if the lemon contains a, definitely lemon contains an acid. Now that acid is also dissolving in water. Similar to that, all acids are soluble in water. Third one, they conduct electricity. All acids are a good conductors of electricity. The fourth one, they are corrosive in nature. Acids are corrosive in nature. But in this, which acids will come? The mineral acids are corrosive in nature. The naturally occurring acids are not corrosive in nature. Or have you heard of an example that someone is trying to prepare the lemon juice, and while taking out the juice, while extracting out the juice from the lemon, he got his hand burned? You will never hear this so. Clear? So they are corrosive in nature. So this line is applicable to which kind of acids? This is applicable to the mineral acids. Last one, they can be stored in a glass / plastic containers. The acids can be stored in a glass container or plastic container. Now still there is a conditions apply. What is the condition apply here? The glass, in the glass container, all the mineral acids, they can never be stored in a plastic container. Why can't they be stored in a plastic container? Because they are very corrosive. They are very reactive. So forget about this plastic container. Okay? So those mineral acids, they are stored in a glass container. Once that strong acid is made weak, okay, then they can be stored in a plastic container. But none of the acids can be stored in any metal container. Clear? Because acids can react vigorously, or acids can react with metal. Every acids can react with metals. Understood? So you should remember one thing, while you are preparing juice from any kind of fruits also, avoid drinking it from any metal containers. Because acids, when they find the surface of metals, then they start to react with it. Okay? So they can be stored in a glass containers. That means the mineral acids, they are stored in a glass container, and the naturally occurring acids, they can either be stored in a glass container or they can be stored in a plastic container. But there is no any question of storing it. There shouldn't be any doubt of storing the acids in any metal containers. So students, I hope you have understood very well about the classifications of acid. You have understood about the acids also, and you have understood about the properties of acids. In the next video, I am going to discuss about the bases, and after that we are going to talk about the hero of the acids and base. What is the meaning of this hero? I am going to talk about the indicators by which we can identify what is an acid and what is a base.